You don't see the truck until it is entirely too late. It is a rainy Tuesday evening. You are driving home on a dark, slippery highway, the radio playing softly in the background. The tires lose their grip on the wet asphalt. Your car slides across the yellow line. And then there is nothing but the deafening roar of a horn and blinding white headlights. The impact is catastrophic. You feel the violent crunch of metal, the shattering of glass against your face, and a sharp, breathtaking pain in your chest. The world spins out of control, and then absolute darkness. You are dead. You know you are dead. You feel the cold emptiness pulling you down. But then, your eyes snap open. You gasp for air, your heart hammering against your ribs like a trapped bird. You grip the steering wheel. The car is perfectly intact. The radio is playing the exact same song you heard just before the crash. You look at the digital clock on your dashboard. It is exactly 5 minutes earlier. Your clothes are dry. Your face is unscarred. You are breathing. You pull over to the side of the road, your hands trembling uncontrollably. You look in the rearview mirror. 3 minutes pass. 4 minutes. And then you see it. The massive truck speeds past you in the opposite lane, exactly where you would have been. It doesn't hit anything. It fades into the rainy night. You didn't just survive. You rewound time. Exactly 5 minutes. For the first few days, the power is terrifying. You test it in small ways. You drop a glass of water on the kitchen floor, watch it shatter, and then close your eyes. You focus your mind, imagining the hands of a clock spinning backward. A sudden rush of cold air hits your face, and the glass is back in your hand, perfectly whole. The rule is absolute. You can only go back exactly 5 minutes. No more, no less. Once you understand the rule, the fear vanishes. It is replaced by pure, intoxicating power. You walk into the largest casino in the city. You stand at the roulette table. You watch the dealer spin the wheel. You watch the little white ball bounce and land on red 32. You close your eyes. The cold rush hits you. You are standing back at the table. The dealer is just picking up the ball. You push your entire life savings onto red 32. People look at you like you are insane. 2 minutes later, you walk out a millionaire. You become a god among mortals. You ace every job interview because you already know exactly what questions they will ask. You go on dates, and if you say the wrong thing, if there is even a single moment of awkward silence, you just rewind. You erase the mistake and deliver the perfect response. You become the funniest, smartest, most charming person in every room. If someone insults you, you punch them in the face, experience the satisfaction, and then rewind to before it ever happened. You live without consequences. Every risk is zero. Every gamble is a guaranteed win. You build a life of absolute perfection. But perfection, you soon discover, is incredibly hollow. Months pass, and the magic starts to rot. When you can rewrite every single conversation, people stop feeling like human beings. They become predictable lines of code. They become NPCs in a video game where you have the ultimate cheat code. You realize that you haven't had a genuine, spontaneous interaction in weeks. You are constantly curating reality to be exactly what you want it to be. The thrill of life disappears. A joke isn't funny if you've already heard it 3 times before you decide to laugh. A victory means absolutely nothing if there was never any chance of defeat. You develop a severe psychological addiction to the rewind. You start using it for the smallest, most insignificant inconveniences. You order a coffee and it tastes slightly too bitter? Rewind. You stub your toe on the edge of the bed? Rewind. You drop your phone? Rewind. You are trapped in a constant state of micro-editing your own existence. You stop living in the present moment because you are always analyzing if the last 5 minutes were optimal. You become deeply paranoid. You are terrified of making a choice and letting the 5-minute window close. Because once those 5 minutes lock in, the timeline becomes permanent. You are a prisoner of your own perfection. And then, the universe decides to balance the scales. It happens on a sunny Thursday afternoon. You are sitting at an outdoor cafe, drinking a perfectly optimized cup of coffee. The plaza is crowded with families, businessmen, and tourists. Without warning, the ground violently shakes. A deafening shockwave shatters every window in the square. A massive explosion tears through the first 2 floors of the central bank building across the street. The blast knocks you out of your chair. Screams fill the air. Smoke and fire consume the street. You see people trapped under burning rubble. You see things you can never unsee. The panic is absolute. But you are the only person who isn't crying. You close your eyes. You focus. You feel the cold rush. You open your eyes. You are back in your chair. The coffee is hot. The plaza is peaceful. The bank is perfectly intact. You check your watch. You have exactly 5 minutes until the bomb goes off. You jump up. You sprint toward the bank. You grab a security guard by the collar, screaming that there is a bomb. He looks at you like you are a lunatic. He pushes you away. You try to pull the fire alarm, but a police officer tackles you to the ground. You are pinned to the floor, screaming at the top of your lungs for everyone to run. 4 minutes pass. People are just filming you with their phones. 5 minutes pass. The ground shakes. The shockwave hits. The building explodes again. You feel the burning heat. You close your eyes. You want the cold rush. You are back in the chair. You try a different approach. You run into the bank and yell that you have a gun. You try to create a panic to evacuate the building. The guards draw their weapons. They shoot you. The pain is excruciating. You hit the floor, bleeding out. You rewind. The cold rush. You are back in the chair. You try to find the bomb. You run into the basement. You are trapped behind a locked security door. The explosion happens. You burn alive. You rewind. You do this 10 times, 20 times. You die in a dozen different ways. You experience the agonizing pain of bullets, of fire, of crushing concrete over and over again. You realize the horrifying truth. 5 minutes is not enough time to evacuate a massive building. It is only enough time to watch the tragedy unfold, or to die trying to stop it. You are trapped in a hellish, looping nightmare of your own making. On the 30-second loop, you don't run toward the bank. You stand up from your chair. Your body is mentally exhausted, carrying the trauma of 30 violent deaths. You look at the innocent people walking around you. You realize that you are not a god. You are just a man with a gimmick. You cannot save them. The universe demands a tragedy, and you cannot cheat it forever. You turn around and you start walking away. You walk for exactly 5 minutes. You do not look back. When you hear the explosion tear through the city behind you, you do not close your eyes. You let the timeline lock in. You let the consequences become permanent. You finally understand the ultimate value of time. Time is precious strictly because it only moves forward. If we could undo every mistake, erase every heartbreak, and fix every failure, our lives would be completely meaningless. We are defined by our scars. We are shaped by the things we cannot change. A life without consequences is not a life at all. It is just a simulation. You vow to never use the power again. You choose to live with the pain, the uncertainty, and the beautiful unpredictability of the future.
So, I have to ask you, if you had the power to rewind your life by exactly 5 minutes, right here, right now, what is the very last mistake you would erase? Or would you choose to keep your scars? Tell me your choice in the comments below. I read every single one of them. If you're ready to face the dark reality of your own timeline, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you in the next POV.